Medical Monday.
Under the new law, it is still illegal to use pot in public, on college campuses, and while driving.
But it's a Monday.
Smoking marijuana all in public. You would think that shit was legal.
Well, marijuana is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. There are people sitting in prison today for marijuana offenses.
Marijuana is not a drug.
A bill to decriminalize marijuana on the federal level was passed by the House Judiciary Committee today on a 24-10 vote.
That's some heavy shit, man.
As more and more states make marijuana legal, Major League Baseball will change its policy to keep up. The league has removed pot from its list of drugs of abuse and replaced it with opioids.
Well, you know, Al, obviously you're active in the cannabis community, and my question for you is, when is the NBA going to catch up with the rest of society and change their policies when it comes to cannabis?
I think it's really soon because the players is like they want it bad. You know what I'm saying? They bring it up, you know, immediately.
Critics worry the weight could lead to high demand on the black market where there's no oversight.
What kind of joint is this, man?
Medical.
And welcome to Medical Mondays, y'all. This is your host with the most, THC in his motherfucking bloodstream, BERG. Best Berg, motherfuckers. And of course, I got my right-hand man, my compadre, my co-host with me, Ed Rocho. You're still muted.
What up?
So, yeah, before we get anything else started, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. Of course, Honeybee Extractions, Native Made 313, Ghostbuster Farms, Western Tobacco, Michigan Turk Farms, Michigan Ganja Queen, and of course, Label My Motherfucking Bud. Boom.
Hey, did you say shout out to Native Made 313? Because shout out Native Made 313. Native Made 313.
Boom. Oh shit, we got our boy Dad Dabs coming up in here.
You mean your boy?
Damn. But anyways, yeah, big shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Our boy C Murder, of course. We got Rick Thompson, aka Taco Meat Thompson, up there. And we got Jamie Lowell joining us. Oh man, do you got your dog with you? I think Rick wants to see his dick.
I think it's probably time for the dick to come up during the show. See if we can some pink pencil action there for Rick later on.
What are you smoking on, man?
Some Death Star. This is one of my favorites, and I got it for the first time in a while, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
Ask me what I'm smoking, Bert.
What are you smoking?
Some strawberries and cream from Rockney Farms.
I guess I'm going to light that up, too. I'm going to smoke that strawberries and cream. What are you smoking on, Rick?
I got some LSD that I acquired from a caregiver at Vehicle City Social. I'm not going to name the names. It's not the greatest.
Sometimes it's LSD, which is a strain itself, and sometimes that is the acronym for lemon sour diesel.
Yep. Nope.
So which is it?
LSD, lysergic acid diethylamine, LSD. But it's got some preemie seeds in it, and it was super wet when I got it, so it's not quality smoke, man.
Yeah,
I'm not naming where I got it.
Well, you said Vehicle City Social, so.
Oh no, but
many people within there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a social club that has many caregivers which frequent it. So. That doesn't really nail down the source at all.
For me, it does.
Okay.
Drip Trip's about to join us. I don't know what's going on with Dad Dabs.
Yeah, we got Drip Trip coming up in here in a minute. Outspoken young man.
I've been smoking on some
So
White
good.
Widow. I got
White Widow.
I was apparently muted. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Black
dude.
Widows matter.
Turn it sideways too.
Turn it sideways.
Yep.
There we go. Is that better? All right. I had to go into my car to get some peace because, as the name is, you know, it's dad first, then dabs later. So the kids run the household.
Man, you already know how I get down, bro.
Yeah, we're smoking on that strawberries and cream right now.
Like, you might not be able to hear it, but I can clearly hear my children arguing in the house right now. Right now.
You hear that all?
Yeah, if my camera goes off, just know some
Got
dad
kids
wisdom
and
is being handed
dog
out.
fight or something.
it was the Jazz Cabbage Cafe the other day, Roach.
What happened?
You were in the car the other day.
Was.
Taking care of some dad shit too.
You saw me.
I watched you.
So
Yeah.
what are you smoking on, Mike?
Andy.
Is he still there? There?
Is he
Yeah,
smoking?
I'm not smoking on anything, actually.
He's overcome with Tangy.
Drip Trip.
Yeah, no, I was smoking actually just a little bit ago. I was smoking on some of that Thin Mint cookies that I had picked up. Decent.
Yeah, fucking I don't know what's going on with Drip Trip, but hopefully he's joining us.
Berg, I told you what's going on with.
What'd you say?
I said he's going to be putting his kid to bed right now, so he's going to join us in about 10-15 minutes.
And I'm telling you, he's trying to join right now, motherfucker. Like,
well, what the fuck is going on with Drip Trip? Join up.
Like,
join up.
Duh. So, anyways, what's going on in the news, Roach? Did you look anything up or no?
Man, there's a bunch of shit going on in the news, man. I tried to read this story. I got halfway through it and I got distracted. But apparently, there's a proposal in the works to have pretty much the medical fucking program just done away with. You know, they want to make all the dispensaries recreational, make all the flower and everything recreational, and then medical can just kind of get in where they fit in, because after all, it's recreational. It's for everybody now.
Well, they want the fucking money too. They want that rec money, because don't they charge less for the medical?
Yeah, there's a recreational tax.
Yeah, exactly. So why would they want just medical out there still? I've been saying this since
medical's on its way out, man. There's no secret about
yeah. I've said that as soon as fucking this shit was legalized. I'm like, it's just trumping all medical fucking things.
Not all medical things. The individual rights are, they're still being attacked from other directions, but there's no reason to peel that back. There is good reason over time for the MMFLA to give way to the MRTA.
But I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, what are they fucking saying about, patients and, caregivers? Like, what's going on with that?
Well, that has yet to be affected by anything. There are forces that believe that those things are competition to their commercial interests, and they keep angling for it. But there isn't a direct threat going on right now to that, to the base MMA program.
What state rep was talking about fucking start like trying to do a proposal, but I guess he took it off the board. Do you know? I mean, I've seen everybody.
To get rid of the home grows and the caregiver system. That Bouchard. I don't know.
No, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago.
Guy from the thumb area, I think.
Yeah, he's like from the thumb. It was something about residential areas where you couldn't grow.
So there was a really bad ruling from the Supreme Court not too long ago, which created a scenario where every individual community might have to challenge their practices to determine what is reasonable, because the Supreme Court basically said as far as where caregivers can grow and things like that, the locals have discretion, but they have to be reasonable without much more definition. So he was trying to capitalize on that with a kind of a perverted interpretation and be more restrictive for caregivers and where they can grow, and that is part of the forces that are angling to kind of hurt the caregiver system, which has been going on since it started. But that he got a lot of backlash for it, and he stopped. Rick posted some good information on that right after it happened.
Smart guy.
No, I heard that he posted himself like telling people to stop like messaging him and calling his office and all that shit because he was getting so many different, people talking shit to him.
Big shout out to Special Blend Wifey, wife of Special Blend Gardens. She was one of the people teeing off in that guy's ass too, by the way.
Yeah.
Big shout out to her.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, like, as far as it's not official that the requirement to have the MMFLA license first is going to end November 1st, although it's being discussed and it might end up being confirmed before too long. We'll have to wait to see how that plays off, but it's not official yet. But what the language says basically is that they have to do that for at least a year and up to 2 years. But everybody here is right. There's no secret that the sooner they get that going, the sooner that the revenue gets generated for the state by the excise tax. So it would be in their best interest. And the medical program had such a slow, weird rollout that the amount of activity that's available to have the MMFLA license first gets used up relatively quickly, because it also has to be in a community that's allowing for the MRTMA. So just to get more activity in the pipeline, it might be necessary anyway. But we'll see what actually happens. It isn't official yet.
Yeah, so it pretty much seems like capitalism is winning out over health and care for.
Well, not necessarily, because it's good business to still pay attention to that and realize that there's still a need for that. I know that we're planning for that at the Botanical Company. If the MMFLA program gets dropped by us or gets dropped overall, we're still going to offer up to 10% discount to patients, so they're not going to miss out on having to pay that extra excise tax. We're also going to be aware of the fact that many people, whether or not it is MRTMA, are still going to be seeking things for their health and wellness and to improve the quality of their life, and we're going to be very aware of that and still help people through those processes too. So we think that's good business to keep in mind that just because the program may go away, the needs and the medical uses definitely don't go away.
Yeah, but the mandated, special treatment for patients, if that goes away, then, we're just counting on the benevolence of recreational centers to treat patients the way that they're supposed to be treated under the original 2008 Act. So, that's
going to prove to be good business for those companies that decide to do that. And we also have to protect the other aspects that are in place too. There's no reason to peel back anything that's already been achieved. In my opinion, it's okay to drop the MMFLA. That doesn't necessarily disrupt anything, but the caregiver system itself needs to be preserved.
The MMFLA contains an awful lot of ridiculous, onerous, burdensome steps that we did not recreate in the legalization program, and removing some of those by getting rid of the MMFLA licensing system certainly would make it more achievable for people who don't have billions of dollars to get into this industry.
Remember, that was created by the legislature.
Absolutely.
The very conservative, pot-hating legislature that said this is going to happen anyway. We might as well have our buddies be the ones who cash in on it. That's how that was all designed.
Sure. Clint Casto and his buddies in Colton in the House, and then in the Senate, of course, Senator Jones and Arlen Meekoff. They manipulated and jerried this whole thing around so that they got language that they liked that favored business in the MMFLA program. That's why one of the things that we struggled to do with the legalization program, the MRTMA, was to correct some of the stupidities that they'd put into that program. And we did a pretty good job. At this point, I don't want the MMMA of 2008 to be touched, but the MMFLA of 2016 was a broken record when it was delivered to us, and it's never played right. And we can do better, and we constructed a better system.
I agree with that.
Oh man, we lost Roach. I don't know where he went.
He didn't see any taco meat, so he fucking booked, man. I know. His standards are so low.
You're holding out on him there.
I know. It's a bad day.
But shout out to
He had to go take care of his kids.
Well, that's true. He told us about this, didn't he? He said so. Dispensing some dad wisdom, he said, if I'm gone for a minute. I believe it.
Show. It said it kicked him out, so I don't know why the fuck he isn't trying to rejoin.
Tapped the wrong button. Took it serious.
The kids are messing with the Wi-Fi.
Right. Something. Shout out to Drip Trip up in here. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, you're muted. Can't hear you.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yep. Hell yeah.
Right. There it is.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on here today, man. Everybody doing good tonight?
Yep.
That's what's up.
Shout out to everybody in the chat too. We got Dylon, Telway Terry up in this bitch, Prop One, Gabby, and well, that's all that's talking in here so far. But shout out to everybody tuned in. I don't know what's going on with Roach, but anyways. Dun dun dun.
So you're asking about news stories, man, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's one news story that I looked up and I seen it was about Pennsylvania and how they're making all kinds of money since all this COVID shit popped off. Uh-oh, is he back? There he is, El Rocho. But I guess since COVID hit, their sales have went up 70%. So they made $385 million since all this COVID shit.
Who has?
Pennsylvania.
The state?
Yep. And that's, I guess it's, it's went up from 70,000. No, it's not 70%. Well, it says more than 70%, rising from 70,000 to 120,000 each week of patients. So,
For the COVID stuff?
Yeah,
All these states made money off that stuff because they made so much money per person they diagnosed and per person that died. So, like a lot of these states made a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, plus, I mean, a lot of states that had medical, I mean, the cannabis industry was considered essential business. So, a lot of people didn't have shit to do but smoke weed and fucking watch movies and shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I see how that kind of turned from being like a weed page to kind of just promoting all of this news and shit since we got all of this bullshit news on our mainstream media and shit like that. Y'all know they don't be up there telling no truths worth nothing. So I and turn my page into kind of like a little news hub to try to make sure we at least getting some of the real shit that they talking about out here.
Man, what's up? Am I back?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
better, fucker. Oh yeah, he said he had to fucking he got kicked out and then he left for like 10 minutes and now all of a sudden he has Tim Hortons. You lying motherfucker. He went to
Skiberg. I had connectivity issues. I'm on my fucking data right.
Yeah, you fucking Tim Hortons Wi-Fi. That's what happened.
Yeah, I got my whole deck fucking tricked out to drive around. Fuck out of here. But if I could I wanted to say something about the previous topic. First of all, shout out to Drip Trip. What up, homie? Glad you joined us. But I feel like this whole thing about, overhauling the marijuana program to be strictly recreational and have that be inclusive for the medical patients just seems a little hypocritical. And it kind of, I feel, is a shot in the foot to the movement because, like, it's supposed to be this thing about medicine and curing and helping people. And now it's like Budweiser alternative.
There's nothing about the MRT that prohibits continuing to do that. Those who are a little bit more aware and want to provide that niche for people will continue to do that.
Pretty soon they're gonna
and I get it.
The only difference really was the fact that the licenses are really expensive for the MMFLA, and they're not nearly as restrictive or as high for the MRTMA. Is that in the MRTMA, an infused product can be up to 1,000 milligrams, and in the MRTMA, it can be up to 200 milligrams. Other than that, the products are basically the same. So if you help somebody, with the same kind of discussion, with direction, with help, whatever they, wherever they are and whatever they need, there's not much difference, And as I said, the excise tax can be waived for people who are patients, and we plan on doing it.
And I hear what you're saying, Jamie, and like there is no difference in the products. It's just what shelf is it being stocked on, really. And like that's my whole thing. Like medical deserves more than just a piggyback on recreational's back. I believe in cannabis, as far as healing people, helping people, overcoming opioids, a whole bunch of shit. There's a whole bunch of shit that this little plant does. And piggybacking all of that profound, important shit on the back of recreational, it just doesn't feel right to me. And it just seems a little hypocritical, trying to look at the movement through the eyes of someone who doesn't smoke cannabis, trying to see it through the eyes of somebody who doesn't, who isn't down with the quote unquote movement. It seems like we're full of shit. I don't know. It's not good.
Many
no bueno.
like that exists. They're like the big companies who saw the ability to cash in, but didn't have much knowledge of the nature of cannabis and the culture and the things that are necessary to make good decisions in this world. That definitely exists, but there also is an element there that will be giving an example of why it's good business to still maintain that type of perspective for people. If they pick up on that because it's good business, then they do. I mean, to keep the individual rights alive throughout all of this becomes paramount, even more so under these circumstances.
The medical card never was what it was supposed to be. When we voted in 2008, the medical card was supposed to give us freedoms and emancipation. It was supposed to be a protection against law enforcement, and it was supposed to give us, security in our homes, whether we lived in an apartment in federal housing or whether we lived in our own domiciles in the middle of a city. We were supposed to be able to have 12 plants, and that was the promise. And then the courts said, nah, you're not going to get this. No, not that either. You were wrong about this. This is not how we're going to view it. And what we imagined when we voted in 2008 ended to be a much lesser program. And then in 2016, they gave the rights to business to launch. And we had high expectations for that. We had set up a whole program in 2014 where caregivers were going to be the lifeblood of the supply line, and you didn't have to fucking register with the state, and you didn't have to have any background checks, and you didn't have to have any employment shit. We had it all set. And on the very last day of the legislature, they shot us. They shot us in the ass and took it away from us. And in 2016, for 2015 and 2016 session, they twisted it around and manipulated it into what we have to deal with right now. So the broken ass thing that is the medical marijuana program in Michigan, it never stopped employers from discriminating against people. It never stopped parole boards from disallowing you from using cannabis while you're on parole or release.
Some prosecutions went up.
Exactly correct. Some prosecutions went up. So it's never really been realized the way that we wanted it to. Now, having said that, our system's still better than almost anybody else's in the entire United States, and I'd take our system over almost anybody else's, and we're working really hard to get that realized the way that we originally had said it. But right now, I feel a little more comfortable making changes to some of the parts of the shit that's broken, because that's the process that we're going through in order to make this system more real. If you're sick and you're ill, maybe you don't need to register for $40 card or see a doctor for a couple $100. Maybe you just go to a dispensary and just buy your cannabis because you don't need to do the registration to the state any longer. Maybe access through recreational places is just as easy or even more so than access through medical places, and you have greater options if you're not necessarily using your medical card. So it's tough to predict what the system's going to do, but there are some things that are busted, and we got to crazy glue and duct tape that shit back to the way that patients need it to be. And I know what you're saying, Roach, man. It does seem hypocritical to not want to support what we have as a medical program, but trying to get something better. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, no, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you guys have done wonderful things, for the movement and cannabis in general. So, like, everybody at home, give these guys a round of applause. And I feel kind of bad, picking apart like your work, essentially. But being like what you said, that Michigan does have a better program than anyone else, and being that we're all on the same page here as far as what we know that this plant is capable of doing if we're allowed to use it in all the ways that we'd like to. So I think that we need to be the best. We should continue to be the best. And, we shouldn't, and I know it's a work in process, but we can't just be complacent and, refer to our program as, this duct taped crazy glue mess. That's fucked up, man.
And we have work to do, man. No question.
That the courts have interpreted things so many different ways. In fact, some of the lower courts have changed decisions made even by higher courts. And the Supreme Court sometimes says, all that shit you guys been doing for years, it was wrong. Change it all again. And plus, we've got stupid laws from the legislature. Remember when you had to carry your cannabis in a box in the trunk of your car? Right? Yeah. Stupid ass laws like that. This is when we talk about duct tape and crazy glued. We got interpretations from the Supreme Court on Carruthers that said, hey, guess what? All those medibles you've been enjoying for all those years, take them away. They're all illegal. And then we have the fucking legislature doing crazy ass shit like put all your stuff in a box or else we're going to put you behind bars. This is the crazy shit we've had to deal with. There's not one consistent rule that we can point to and we can count on throughout the whole thing. And sometimes your rights depended on which side of the border you were standing on. If you were in Oakland County, you were fucked. But if you were up in Genesee, one street over, not so bad. So it has just been not really fair to patients this entire time. Not even knowing where you stand based on what you did. Jamie and I got pulled over while Jamie was driving for a particular offense, and the state cop at that time said, if you were one county up, I wouldn't give a shit about this. But you're in this county. But guess what? I give a shit about this. So we've been victimized by that crazy patchwork nonsense too. It's just it's difficult to get excited about a program where so many people have been let down so many times.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I get in other industries that, you know, something that's medical grade should be more expensive to sell, to buy into, to participate in, to operate under. You know, I get that, but like cannabis is different than any other industry, and I feel like there's a lot of insight and empathy missing from the lawmaking, or at least the perception of said laws by judges when it comes to things, because it shouldn't cost more to be medical in Michigan as far as cannabis is concerned. The people that are trying to get into medical are not there for the cash grab. That's what recreational's for. Okay, the people that are in medical are trying to help. They're trying to get low cost meds to people in a hurry and directly.
Well, some are trying to cash in. It depends on. You have to remember, you have to have the medical license first to get the MRTMA license. So,
and I feel that the reason why we got cash grab in medical is because there wasn't the recreational, and now that it's recreational, man, all those jokers are doing rec.
But when they created the medical program, it was specifically designed to be difficult to get into. They wanted to screen out people like everybody on this fucking call. Anybody that had any history with cannabis. Go ahead, Jamie.
I'm sorry, they wanted very few people to control the entire market. Like an oligopoly. So the buddies get all the money, not anybody who wants to compete for it.
So you had to have this sterling background, which none of us can meet. You had to have this financial history that none of us can meet. You had to have all of this prearranged bullshit and all these lawyers. They set it up specifically to make it exclusive. They knew that if they got 15 applications for dispensaries instead of 500 applications for dispensaries, that was good for them, because they would be one of the 15, or they'd know people who are one of the 15. So they set it up specifically to have all these pitfalls and problems in it that we complain about right now. That's a Republican House and a Republican Senate in 2016, signed by a Republican Governor, Rick Snyder. All that shit that we hate, that's where it came from.
If I ruled the world, for me, if you wanted to be a medical caregiver or a medical business, cannabis business in Michigan, I want to see like improved results from like your patients. Show me somebody's blood pressure going down, you know, show me you know, somebody's fucking tumor disappearing or being reduced in size. Show me somebody who avoided a surgery that they were supposed to have, you know, and like, oh, okay, you got that.
In the UK, the
rubber stamp that shit.
Doctors get paid more when their patients are healthier.
Then you got people that fucking, you can't fucking show that shit. You know what I mean? Like
insomnia, it beats insomnia. How about menstrual cramps? How about all the different? Your attitude is better because of it. You're not as angry. How do you regulate, or how do you verify that?
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Within my family, I actually got proof that it actually cures cancer. Like my niece had breast cancer and she refused radiation, refused chemotherapy. She smoked so much motherfucking weed, Rick Simpson oil, edible, and my niece is walking around cancer free right now. So I can attest to the fact that shit's amazing shit.
We've got so many case histories like that, especially when it comes to children, Jamie, right?
Yeah, that's a great testimonial. I've seen those types of results a few times over the years, man. We have a lot of anecdotal evidence, and there is some good, promising studies out there that demonstrate even how it works. But we still need to do more to convince everybody.
In 10 and 11, when Rick Simpson oil really first started to get big here in Michigan, the people, the stories of healing were just amazing. You cry sitting there listening to them. They'd come into the office, and they would just tell you about they just left their doctors, and the radiographs show that there's no tumor anymore, or that it's shrinking, it's no longer spreading. All these different things. My brain stem thing is all, you know, if we could only get lawmakers to listen to those stories. You know, the problem in Michigan is that we get one set of lawmakers trained really good, and then they're gone, and there's another set of assholes in here that we got to train them up again. And
You know,
And
like,
gerrymandering.
yeah, no.
you know what happened to being like judged by your peers? Like the people judging cannabis are not the peers of cannabis. I know that's just for criminal shit, but you know, it should still carry over in some respect. Like, you know, the people running cannabis should be at least empathetic to cannabis.
The guy who wrote the cannabis part of the expungement bills and
Hmm.
that's currently in the Senate said in testimony to the House of Representatives when they introduced his bill, yeah, I didn't vote for legalization. I don't really believe in it. But, you know, the people passed it, so I wrote this bill. Here you go. Talk about the worst fucking person to represent our community in writing a bill that's going to help emancipate our brothers and sisters from fucking incarceration. What a weak ass
Yeah,
bill it
man.
is, and it shows he didn't put any effort into it.
You know, at least like 60% of the ruling body should be comprised of people that have used cannabis or know somebody that's been healed by cannabis or like something like that should be a requirement.
Yeah. I think that the business community is essentially screened out from a lot of people who actually use cannabis. Some of the requirements to get into business ownership kind of make you not be things like caregivers or you know, have any kind of a history of cannabis use. So I think they kind of stack the deck against that. Plus, every time they want to talk about making rules, they want to bring in people that don't have any idea about the industry, like Prosecuting Attorneys Association and Michigan State Police. Why do I need their input into what we think are best rules for our industry? Why do we need them with a seat at the table?
Yeah, and it's like it's a whole community thing, man. Like I'm there's too many people to start naming and then feel bad that I left people off the list, man. But there have been people in this community that were like terminally ill. Like they're not here today. And the time that they were with us, you know, uh, they were happy for those moments, you know, fleeting as they are. Like that shit's important. That made a difference. That was a result of like this legalization that, you know, they otherwise wouldn't have had. Like the level of acceptance from strangers, I'm sure, is not like it as open as it is the cannabis community. You know, like we understand that there's people with afflictions and we like accept them. I don't know, man. I just get upset when that's not the focus. When we have a quote unquote medical program and people are not the focus of that. Somehow it just always comes back down to money.
I mean, what it came down to me is fucking that first cannabis cup up at fucking Clio when shit first went wreck. That fucking opened my fucking eyes. They didn't give anybody with any fucking medical conditions or, you know, like why didn't they have a fucking medical line? Everybody who was going to that motherfucker before it was wrecked was medical. Like, you know, like they had like, I don't know, man. That was just shitty as fuck.
The
But
line you're talking about, Berg, that ridiculous line that stretched out so long that people waited in the burning ass sun for literally, not exaggerating, hours with no chairs, no shelter. I mean, they gave them water, I guess. But you're right. If you were in a wheelchair, or if you had crutches, or if you had some kind of a problem, tough shit.
Oh
If you
man.
were passing out in the line, tough shit.
Yeah, me and Roach literally saw like, you know, people like fucking like laid out in the fucking grass and shit, like just to like.
And this is how devoted these people were to the High Times Cup. This is how much they really wanted to participate in that brand and that event. And then you take all that enthusiasm, all that love, all that willing to wait in line, and then you treat them like shit, right? And then you just don't. You know, really, the problem is you have to have more than one entry line. And I know they wanted to control the entry point so that they could do their weapon search and all the rest of that stuff and blah blah blah. But you needed to have more than one general admission entry point. it was ridiculous.
I think medical should have been like, given first run. You know what I mean? Like, as far as I'm concerned, it'd be like a handicap line, or you got a medical card. All right, come this way. But I don't know.
VIP.
The High Times doesn't really care about the VIP customers either. That's why I try to support local events like the Clio Cup, or back when the Dab House was doing the Dab Wars and stuff like that.
I agree. That extra money,
Beautiful City Social, places like that.
the extra cost for VIP is, to me, is never, I never paid for it, but I've been in the VIP room. And, it's just not worth it. So there's nothing really
beneficial
adds to the experience at all.
A different seating area, maybe some snacks, maybe some free giveaways, a DJ spinning, and that's really about it. And you're spending $100 extra ticket.
No, they got me once. I did Super VIP. I paid $500.
The Super VIP.
Yeah.
Did Danny Dangle give you a lap dance or something for that? Wow.
Was supposed to
Oh, my chest. You made my chest hurt.
With the musical guest, and that never happened. And we asked him, he's like, "I'll get back to you." He's too busy for us and stuff. So yeah, it was. And then the special seating during the VIP seating during concerts was too far away from the stage. I'd rather be down in the crowd.
I don't know. And can I just say, man, as somebody who has like literally had like every band at High Time, it didn't make a difference what band I had as to what I did or where I could go or anything. Like, I think that shit is stupid as fuck. VIP should be VIC, because that's custy as fuck. To think that paying double gets you some special access that it doesn't. It just simply doesn't. Like, if you wanted the shirts, I guess, or whatever little care pack they give you, whatever.
What were you saying about the Emerald Cup?
I did the Emerald ticket. It was $500 too. I did that, and but it came with a meet and greet with Tommy Chong.
See, that's at least worth it.
Yeah, that was cool. And a cool tent, air conditioned tent to chill in too. That was nice.
That's like you on a hot day.
And I thought both of the High Time Cups that was here was kind of cheesy. Like, I didn't enjoy I did enjoy the smaller events more than I enjoyed the bigger events. But I could tell that the awards are all like rigged. Like, it's just like they just give them to whoever they freaking like. It feels like.
Yeah,
that stuff don't be great, and you can't tell on them edibles. You can't tell. You can't judge no edibles in an hour. 8 or 9 different edibles. It's impossible for y'all to really judge that and things like that. So I'm just like, y'all just giving it to whoever y'all like.
Look, we had one year. One year I had 55 samples in my kit, and they gave us 1 week to grade all 55 samples. It was all sativa, because that's my specialty.
That's crazy.
It was a fun week. But it was
You
a
can
lot
get
of
people
responsibility.
according to the old rules, you can get people to help you. And when I was at Third Coast for years, and I would be a judge, every year, I would get like whatever that I got to be a judge. I would get the patients that I work with a lot who use those things, and and use them as part of my testing process and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a thorough job.
I went over to McCarty.
Whether or not it meant anything.
Shout out to D-Mac, but I went over to D-Mac's house, and he was doing fucking, he was trying all, I want to say his was hybrids, but we smoked all kinds of fire.
Hybrids is usually the largest entry.
It is, yeah. Sativa and indica are kind of specialties now. Hybrid almost like 50% more than the other as far as entries for flower goes.
I forget how many jars he had, but it was insane, man.
Yeah. It's a hell of a job. It's a fun job, but it's a hell of a job. They used to give big samples. When I've been a judge like 10 times, and when they first came in, they used to give big samples, like an 8er, right? Like for each one of these, and you have like 30 or 40, and you were like, fucking hey, holy shit. And it was awesome. It was fantastic. Some of the best cannabis. And then they went down to, what did they do? What's the last one we did, Jamie? They gave like 1 gram, 1.5 something.
A gram.
Yeah. So that was, they had pared the gifting down to barely enough. You can't even roll a decent joint with just 1 gram. Throw a little bit of a stem away, and then there's,
It depends on how thorough your process is for testing it. 1 gram only goes so far.
Jamie did Jamie did a special testing thing with a pipe. He was very precise in his methodology.
What's your technique, Jamie?
I'd like to do it myself a couple different ways and evaluate it. Then it depends on what the category is, like flower, for example. But I also really relied on getting feedback from a group of people who I would hand select in order to, give me some valuable information on what they thought about it and how it worked and everything for them. What they thought about all the basic stuff that you ask for on the surface, the essence, the density, the dry toe, then how well did it burn and all that kind of stuff. But, it affects people differently. The general feel from a group is always very helpful for me.
Tough to get multiple opinions based on a 1 gram sample, though.
I know, yeah. So what's the criteria that they give you? Like, do they have like a pre-made fucking what's the I mean, that's what you just said.
They have a website with a list of questions and.
Oh, all right.
So that they usually give you, there's like 10 categories usually in each individual one. Hybrid sativa and indica flower only has 1 questionnaire. I've done vape pens 1 year, which is a different questionnaire. I did CBD 1 time, which was a combined questionnaire because the CBD category included medibles, vape pens, flower, and also topicals and pills, which is kind of a ridiculous mismatch of things to try and rank.
I had that one too.
Other.
It was the first year they combined everything that was just CBD in one category. Eventually, they each had their own category, but
that first year they didn't have enough entries outside of doing that to be able to make enough for anybody. But yeah, it's an online thing where you log in, it's secure. You have to respond back to make sure you get a password for it, and then each one of your entries has to satisfy your 10 questions or whatever, and then move on to the next.
I believe it's like a 1 to 5 rating system. So
Something
they're
like
how you answer the questions.
Yep.
They're based on basically what I listed off before.
Yep. How does it look? How does it smell? How does it taste? How did it make you feel?
How does it burn in the case of flower or whatever?
Yep. How does it burn? What's the ash look like? There's a, it's the same thing that I would ask Berg if he was going to try and, tell me about some brand new, native made cookies. I'd say, man, what's it like? Did it get you off? Did it make your beard curl? I mean, is this the kind of stuff we're talking about here?
If it's native made, whatever native made fucking puts on, it will fucking rock your fucking socks.
Totally understand. Good job. Yep. No, so you're right. I mean, Drip, it sometimes we would say, wow, this is a great thing, and it didn't seem like that was what won. And they also don't let you know. For example, if you have number 5, 7, and 12 as your number 1, 2, and 3s, when they announce the winners, they don't tell you what those numbers were. So you don't know whether it was number 5, 7, and 12. You have no idea. So it's difficult as a judge to know whether what you thought was good actually got the award.
It changed over time, and early on, it was kind of cool. We all met in the same house. They rent out a house someplace in the area, and you'd be able to discuss with other people in your category, about some things, and it was nice.
You'd all be sitting 10 people around a table, all smoking the same cannabis, all talking about it. And then you'd put those joints down, and then you start the next one, and you'd be able to judge in a community like that.
You still had the week otherwise to do it too. It wasn't like that wasn't the only shot at it. I mean, that was just like fine tuning your thoughts on the entries.
And then it became much less personalized when they went to the computerized system.
So another thing I wanted to talk about tonight. I mean, what's your guys' view on, like, even if Biden gets elected, like, do you think anything's gonna happen with cannabis as far as he's concerned?
I'm sure it'll be an improvement from what exists right now. To what degree we get, how soon, I can't say for sure.
Biden the president can only sign bills that are sent to him by Congress. So the real trick is whether or not we're going to convert the Senate from a Republican to Democrat. If we have a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate and a Democratic president, then absolutely. I watched Earl Blumenauer as part of a on Saturday. It was a National Drug Policy Alliance 4-hour seminar thing, and his speech was really encouraging. They're recruiting more what's the right way to say it? More supporters in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Each and every time they introduce these bills, they get more people to sign on. It looks like more and more that they're reaching that tipping point of support where they can really get stuff done. But the Senate's the real tough. So
the MORE Act passed the House. That's the furthest that pro-cannabis legislation has gone.
Yeah, it's really unrealistic to expect a president to use executive order to correct cannabis issues, because cannabis issues weren't generated by executive order from the president. They were generated by legislation passed by the legislature. So the corrective measure is either overturning something in the Supreme Court or repassing legislation that fixes it. That's what we've seen here in Michigan, as far as that's the way that they want to fix things that they did wrong. So the same thing federally. There's always going to be one asshole that stops everything up, that says, nope, not on my watch. 99 people standing there ready to go, but he's just guarding the keys. Says no.
The VP nominee is what introduced the MORE Act in the Senate. Yeah. So this will be the most progressive vice president on the issue of cannabis.
She's the worst vice president for cannabis, period.
I don't think that's true.
No, that's not true. She has a history, which is true, as an attorney general, but there's been a lot of shit blown out of proportion about her record, and she has evolved on the issue. The whole time she was running as president, it was in favor of legalization, and as I said, she introduced the MORE Act in the Senate.
And can she?
They're all able to throw them away and start over.
Listen, you guys can say whatever you want, but she wasn't locking up people that look like you, like her entire fucking career. I see why
they're all leaving. Throw them in a volcano.
Yo, and I'm sorry. Like I worked for Microsoft for a second, so I was out in San Francisco, and it's a shithole out there. Like, y'all think the TV make that shit look all sunny and bright, bro? It's shit all over the fucking cement. It's shit like all over the fucking hallways of every fucking place. It's homeless people. It is a shit.
There's shit everywhere.
Yes, there's shit. People shit wherever the fuck they feel like shitting. Like, they walking down the street.
They made it legal, right? They made it legal.
Yeah, now it's legal. Like, they don't care. Now you don't get in trouble for it. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Fucking crazy.
And nonetheless, I mean, even so, there is she represents the best as far as being progressive on the issue as a vice president, and she sits on the ticket contra Trump Pence. So
her voting record.
Don't have much of a.
No, I'll just refer to my previous statement.
Yeah. I think what we've seen recently in a lot of news reports is that when she took office in California, arrests actually went down. Arrests still took place, but they went down. So I mean, we want to go to zero, but they can't always go from up here to down here in one immediate.
That news be lying, yeah. I don't know how y'all be thinking or what y'all be getting from the news or believing, but this news is like 98% bullshit. Like for real. Like whatever they telling y'all positive about specific candidates on specific channels is literally like biased and bullshitted towards specific candidates on specific channels to make y'all feel like they're good or bad.
Like, government statistics are government statistics. You can't argue about interpretation when you're actually looking at numbers. When it says, arrest in 2010 and then it says arrest in 2016, and you can see there's a difference, That's not interpretation.
Yeah,
It
and
doesn't
I
matter
said
which news
that-
source you get that from.
Yeah,
And I
the
said too-
population has dropped like drastically as well. Like people are like abandoning their cities and that state because it's like a shithole. Like that's
And I
another
said,
reason that probably it's gonna go down.
I said two things that are easily verifiable. That is that she was pro legalization while she was candidate for president, and she supported introduced the more. In the those did not any other source other than
She don't like us.
President.
and the choice is limited to that ticket or the existing ticket.
I mean, God,
That-
Pence
that-
is horrible.
that-
Pence is the worst. He believes that
They're
white
all
supremacy is the
shit.
racist is his religious right.
We have a
terrible.
set of shitty choices. That is true.
No
Yeah,
question.
they're both
Talking
shitty
about
choices.
is the best path for our position.
I know.
Yeah.
Once again.
Are everybody here? Is everybody in Michigan right here?
For the most
Uh,
part,
yeah.
Dabs ain't. He's an outsider.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I think our rules are pretty dope. Like for the most part, I know we got a lot of improvement that we could do, but I don't think that ours is going backwards. Like I mean, as far as what we're able to do, I know that that they're kind of pushing the caretakers out, but in reality, I mean, in the middle of the city, we're not really reliant on them anyway. I know that a lot of us have. There's still a lot of dispensaries out here that aren't like licensed. Like, and it's still for the most part, I think that that they have the same product for medical and recreation for majority of these places, and the fact that they're even making a difference and charging these is ridiculous for one. Because they're the same product. Like I can see the same people put the same shit in the same thing, but they're charging people different prices because they got a card and this person don't. It's medical. If it's medical, it's medical. To me, there's not a difference between the medical and the recreation at this point, for the reasons that it's so common and accepted at this point. But I think people that have cards should definitely pay less.
That's how it is right now. People with cards paying less.
Yeah, I'm saying like they should pay less, but I think the doubling of the price that they have for the recreational people is ridiculous. Like I've seen like $70 apes and something like that. I wouldn't like dare. Like who does that? Like it doesn't make sense to me, and I think that's terrible. That the record, just because you don't have a card doesn't mean that you should have to pay like a double tax.
I mean, it's the same cannabis, but there's two different supply chains. The supply chain is much more restricted for the adult use market than it is for the medical. So that'll get fixed.
Dispensary getting per ounce now, like $300-$400.
Yeah, I'm seeing like some, like I'm not paying that shit, but I see some like $350-$400 ounces, and I'm like, yeah, that's like ridiculous.
What? 400?
Yeah, it's some $400 ounces out here, man. These
Yeah,
exotic.
Colin nodding his head. He knows.
I remember that back in the fucking day, man. I remember 400 ounces.
Yeah, whatever these little exotics these people got, they not up the price on everything. People paying, up to $4,000 for like pounds.
I want to say across the state, the price has gone up like $80. I read somewhere.
About in
on
the
average
market.
Yeah.
Commercial market.
Yeah.
So about a pound in the commercial market for medical is probably somewhere around wholesale, somewhere around 3,500.
I was gonna say 32, yeah, 35.
And it's like more, probably 4,000 or so for the rec version of the same thing.
See,
it's more scarce, not as much activity. So it's
yep. So there's a lot more medical cultivators licensed than there are adult use cultivators. Now, eventually that'll regulate itself out, but right now, not everybody that's licensed for adult use can sell into for medical can't sell into the adult use. They're fixing it, but my thing is, I've never really been a big fan of the medical commercial cultivation market in the first place, because they don't interact with the patients. There's no feedback. You don't get the specialized strains that help specific illnesses that people have gotten used to over the decades, or over the decade here in Michigan. They, you can't talk to somebody and say, hey, look, I need you to grow this. I tried this when I was in Colorado. This is awesome. Please give me a couple plants of this so we can try it here. That just doesn't happen. There's no feedback. So from a medical perspective, the commercialized market to me has always been a lesser choice for medical patients, for truly sick medical patients.
At a dispensary, though, when people come in and they say, like, I tried this in California or Colorado, I just roll my eyes at them, because it's like, I don't have that here. It's not Colorado. So,
they have the same name, but it's a totally different product.
yeah.
He murder says he's like,
I don't know. Sometimes
auto bitch.
Michigan can of snob.
Like they use a lot more. They use a lot stronger pesticides and stuff out there.
Unfamiliar to me.
Is there a big difference in commercial cultivation, Drip? That you said a lot of pesticides out in Cal?
Oh yeah, in California, heck yeah. Like they use a lot way more pesticides. That's why they got those stupid Prop 65s and everything. Like they're a business out there pretty much. They're more about production and producing in the masses. That's why Blue Dream is so popular, because it grows so freaking fast and so big. So that's it's just a freaking business. They don't really care about your health. That's why it's a front. That's why I'm telling you, California is a joke.
That's part of the problem, man. I don't know, Rick and Jamie, we need to work on this. Like the medical program just needs to break away free and clear from the recreational thing, because like I recognize that the financial gain there, and that people, if you're willing to pay and people are willing to sell and they want to pay and go through that licensing and be compliant, like go for it, do it. 1000%. You have my support. But why are we just neglecting the medical stuff? Like there has to be a medical movement still happening that can operate free and clear from that recreational shit.
I think we have to make sure we preserve the caregiver system. And otherwise, the commercial market is going to go more toward the MRTMA side and not have a specific medical side. And while I completely understand what you mean, that medical thing has to be a good program. The MMFLA is not a good program. So there was something to replace it that was good and had a good parallel relationship with the other market, that would make sense. But the MRTMA can contain it.
Like, let the government have recreational and like let the people have medical shit.
They ain't gonna want to test that. They rather test the medical stuff that we're using to heal ourselves than the stuff that people may just use for fun. That's on some real shit, like this conspiracy of the government, whole little medical shit. It's all experimental.
Roach, you got to be the CEO of like a medical marijuana company. You gotta lead like that niche in the market.
Yeah, no, man.
The people we
I
got
just
running.
want people to be able to get help when they need it, man. I'm not trying to profit from it. I just want people to be healed if that's what they so desire. Like, just like in order to clarify, let me exaggerate by saying it would be, and I guess some religions do this. Like, if you wanted to become part of a church, you got to pay a check. Well, and you got to pay a tax every time you go to church. This world is fucked up. This world is fucked up.
I mean, you gotta hop into politics. I mean, if you're trying to make that like something that you personally do in reality, or you gotta have somebody that you connect with that has that same ideal as you that's into politics like that. I mean, because otherwise, you ain't gonna be able to really get that push unless you got the clout, like a big crowd, or you the politician that's pushing it.
Right. Yeah, in order to do that, in order to do this, I've taken sponsorship, and like it's not the same thing, but when you're in politics and you got sponsors, it means something totally different. A shout out to them is like passing a bill or handing them over contracts for, you know, decades worth of work and shit like that. So I feel like in order to be successful, that you gotta sell out, you gotta become that fucking creature, unfortunately. And then in doing that, you've just defeated your own cause. I think that's what happens to a lot of people. That's part of the reason why it's set up like that, so that you get fucking fucked up.
We
You
understand that
become
lawmaking is
assimilated.
it's a corrupt system. So the only way to change it is to get into the corrupt system and fix it from the inside out. And that means as soon as you step into it, like you said, Roach, the corruption
Mhm.
begins.
Yeah.
And as we discussed earlier, the gerrymandering is a big part of that. The many people who sit in the Senate do not have to really be concerned about what their constituents think about stuff.
Yeah.
They know they're going to get in, but by 2022, that is to
Yeah.
change. That'll be helpful. Whether or not that takes it far enough to solve
No.
the most corrupt government in the country, we'll see.
Michigan's
I
really
mean,
bad.
the 4 people that are in a position to possibly run this country for the next 4 years are so fucked up that the amount of shit that people have had to look past and accept in order for them to get in that position is just absolutely disgusting. And if you fucking look at it for a second, it's just like plain as day.
My thing is, you know, I just Biden too fucking weird, man. This nigga is rubbing hairy legs and, you know, all this rubbing on
Right
little
there, bro.
kids
You
and
can
shit.
go.
Like I know
He
that's
sucks,
gross.
man.
Trump's
That's
giving
true.
Putin
No.
blowjobs,
And
man.
then, and then y'all got to look at his like thing. This dude is like, he got like the weirdest promises that he want to make. Like the weirdest one to me is that he wants to make it legal for people to pass HIV and AIDS unacknowledged. Like, why do you want to make that legal? That's like totally weird. Like it's just, it doesn't make sense. His whole past is just totally questionable towards like colored people of any like shade. Like it's just questionable as crap. Like he just was too willing to put us away too. And then he picks the chick that was like, she got the record for putting away black people. Like the record for California for putting away black people as an attorney general. That don't sit well with the colored person.
Biden's one of the architects of like, you know, the fucking bill like created the like, you know, fucking. I mean, the whole bill
This led to disproportionate treatment against
The
minorities.
Black Predator bill. It was that
Yeah.
crime bill from the 90s. Where it was
Then my
like,
thing, he got a.
if you were a kid in the 90s, you were a predator.
Now my other thing, dude got an island that don't nobody talk about. His island's like 6
What?
miles from Epstein Island. Like you got an island 6 miles from Epstein Island. Y'all got submarines under y'all motherfucking islands. Like I'm not with that. Like,
Yeah, that's why he never went to Epstein Island. He had his own island.
Just
took a
suspect. It
rowboat.
don't make sense to me. Like
Yeah, man, that's
They got
all
too much
fishy.
going
And they're
on.
all involved, bro. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Trump, Biden, anybody, they're all on that. They're all on that. They all showed up.
yeah. Yeah, I'm with all. I think they all in there. You know, it's just like right now we could tell y'all like in there. Like, I'm waiting on something. I know Trump got something that's gonna drop on him. It's gonna drop. It's gonna hit us. We're gonna be like, yeah, we knew it. There you go. You know, like that. Like I looked out for the racist stuff. I don't feel like he racist. I ain't gonna play with y'all on that. But I do feel like he's like a fucked up dude for like he do some fucked up shit. Like his mouth be reckless as hell. You know, he ain't really respectful to a lot of people. But he take care of this country, like for the most part. Like I feel like y'all got to look at financials of our country. Like I know a lot of people that didn't have any jobs, and right now I know a lot of people that work, like got like legit jobs. They got careers that they moving in. You know, I can say I got 2 businesses that have grown pretty decently, like as far as like how I've been able to like pick that shit up. Like, but I don't know what people think Barack did for them. Like he was just black.
But you're saying like Trump helped you like financially somehow? Is that what you're saying?
I ain't saying he gave me money. You know, I'm saying that.
I know. Like, I mean,
I'm saying that I'm saying that there are more jobs available. Like I'm a person that get jobs for people. Part of my business is job recruitment. So the jobs that are available have expanded greatly. Like there are many more types of jobs, and there's many different availabilities of them. As you know, you got to look into many different things besides just Career Builder and Indeed and going up to a job. Like it's so many freelance opportunities available, you know, where you could find all these independent businesses that need all of this stuff. And I've been able to do that for myself and for like tons of people, like just find work, you know, and I ain't talking about no $10, $15. These people making $20, $25 an hour. So it ain't just like, you know, nothing out there. It's just people don't know how to look for this shit. And I know how to look for that shit. So I'm saying like that shit's there. Just people don't be knowing that shit because niggas don't know.
But you're saying what, Trump gave you this job?
I'm saying that the jobs are available that wasn't there under Obama. Because I came out of high school before Obama was president. Bro, I'm telling you, I came out. I was working when Obama was president. I'm older than I look, bro. I've been working for a long time. I joined the army because I wanted to freaking fight 9/11, and then we got a black president, so I'm out here trying to do this shit. So I went through that whole little recession shit that we went through with the whole Obama term. Yeah, y'all got to remember that we actually went through a recession with that dude.
I'm not a fan of Obama either. He's just like every other fucking politician. I don't give a fuck whether they're
opportunities
left, right, or the left.
No, hold on, man.
Fucking bird, you know. I don't know.
I think they are bullshit too. Shit, I'm just saying, like, you know, I rather have this dude than this nigga.
I respect what you're saying and all that, man. And like, you know, numbers don't lie. You know, there are more jobs now. But my question to you, okay, is what kind of jobs are available? And you're saying they're well-paying jobs, and I'm not disputing that either. But I know here in Michigan and in other states, there's this thing called fracking that fucking Trump is like all behind. He's even done like entire speeches about it. And it's like basically destroying our earth from the inside.
He's worked against many environmental protections.
A lot of these more jobs that you're fucking so happy about that's driving our economy is fucking killing our earth. And that shit is fucking disgusting. You know, I've had some fucking occupational training that qualifies me to be on some of these fracking crews. And I've gotten calls for that shit. And I always tell them to suck my dick each and every time. And they keep on calling because there's that many jobs. And it's sick. So yeah, the economy is doing well, and there's all these jobs because these corporations got a green light to fucking basically cannibalize the planet.
Cheaper.
So I don't accept that, bro. I don't accept that as success.
I understand.
And if you feel that that's in your best interest and it's helping you meet your quotas, I mean, at what cost though, bro?
Yeah, I understand.
He's also allowed the national debt to reach record levels without addressing it at all. It's one of the reasons he stimulated this. It's out of balance.
Right. Yeah. And I can qualify that by saying that if Hillary was president or if Joe Biden is president, they won't do the exact same shit.
No, that's right. Our taxes. Yep. They're trying to add $1 trillion on the taxes.
No, but it's like,
and I'll add a fuck Obama to that because he kind of like alley-ooped that to Trump. He fucking threw up the rock, and Trump fucking was like, blah, brought that shit down like fucking Shaq and Penny and Shaq back in the day, some old school behind the back. So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying into
I feel you.
politics.
I get you on the fracking thing, and I feel you on that. But that wasn't even the type of jobs I was talking about. Like, I get people like into graphic design and social media, freaking social media management and shit like that. There's so many companies that need like little people to answer their phones, receptionists and call centers, people working from home. Like, I specialize at working from home. Like for the past 7 years, that's what I've been doing. I've been working from home up until recently, from different places. So, that's what I mean, like the job market and the job opportunity like that picked up. I understand you though when you say that fracking shit. I understand that shit's fucked up, and I don't like vibe with that shit. But y'all gotta think like
one example.
Y'all gotta realize like these Democrats we be like mostly Chinese if we just let these Democrats do what they please right now. Like y'all think that shit's a joke, but like it's not. Y'all don't want like to be communists. We don't want to be under like a freaking Chinese watch. Those people over there fighting for freedom, and they being ignored because it's not newsworthy. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. But them people's over there oppressed way more oppressed than we oppressed. Not saying they're slaves or anything like that, but they restricted in the motherfucker. We talking about we censored and anything. They censored, and they oppressed like a motherfucker. Like, and that's what we moving toward. Like, and that's what's gonna happen if we they already said, like, as soon as they get in office, 3-month mandatory mask, everybody getting vaccinated. Y'all know that's some, like, y'all gotta understand, like, and those motherfuckers is pedophiles and taking y'all kids and shit like that. Y'all don't even understand this mass shit is some whole extra shit. Y'all ain't gonna be able to, this is some whole human trafficking
like, bro,
shit.
Trump ain't gonna save you. Trump can't save you from that shit either.
Hey,
because Whitmer
Trump
does
putting these niggas away right now.
She already showed that.
Trump putting these niggas away right now. So that's y'all call that nigga a pedophile. All them pictures they showed with that, I can tell y'all those was fake ass pictures because I can go and get the real picture. Like I saw 3 pictures where they talking about this him with a little girl, but it was really okay. So it was him with his daughter, and they replaced that picture with Jeffrey Epstein head on one of them. Then the other one, I'm just saying, like that shit's fake. Like.
Okay, hold on. So wait a minute.
It's all.
I don't know how old you are, okay, but I know you're over 18. Okay, with that qualification, and you're a man. At any point, do you think you would walk into the dressing room of a Miss Teen USA fucking pageant and brag about it and talk about how beautiful the girls were and brag about how you get to walk back there? Do you need a picture for that, or is that just a detestable statement?
How security tried to stop him. The security tried to stop him, and he told him, "I own this event, so you better let me in." Well, teenage girls are.
Bro, you can't.
It's disgusting. This is disgusting as fuck. He does some jerk shit. I don't agree with that. I don't. I tell you, y'all see how I am. Y'all see how y'all follow me. Y'all see how I am with child trafficking and human trafficking.
All these pedophiles.
But I can tell the difference between the two. And one of these niggas is more willing than the other one.
All the motherfuckers are pedophiles, man.
Yeah, they are.
Comrade murder.
I mean, have you even noticed his interaction between him and his daughter? It's fucking disgusting, bro.
You gotta listen to what he says too. Like he doesn't even fucking say words over 4 syllables because that shit's too fucking smart for his like followers and shit.
So do y'all watch his news conferences, or do y'all just like watch the conferences, or do y'all just watch the clips on like the news or some shit like that?
No, I mean I try to
like
watch.
You fuck with.
Avoid watching.
Do you fuck with Tupac? What do you like about Tupac?
I mean, he was lyrical. I liked his poetry. I thought he was a dope dude. I thought he was inspirational to a lot of people.
Okay, so you felt the message, and like the reason he had that message, a large part of it was like his parents were involved in the Black Panther Party. That's where like a lot of his ideas and thoughts, originated from his parents. So Trump's parents were like Klan members, bro. So even if he doesn't claim to be a card-carrying member, just like Tupac wasn't a Black Panther. Like that's in his core, bro.
Yeah, but this nigga ain't trying to
And
put
that's
us in jail.
that's a
He spent his life trying to put us in jail, and Biden been in office for 50 years trying to put us in jail. And then Kamala Harris, since she been a politician, been trying to put us in jail. So I'm just saying,
and the
like, this
Democrats
ain't been
and
trying
the
to put us in
Democrats
jail.
the
Yeah,
first
I'd rather fight.
KKK was Democrats.
You said what? What'd you say?
And the first KKK was Democrats. Like the whole shit is against
Man,
you,
I'm
man.
saying,
It's against everybody.
I'm saying I'd rather, like, you know, go to war with these, you know, racist ass motherfuckers and shit like that. And you got to realize that we got these pedophile motherfuckers, like these pedophile ass. Nah, I'm talking about we got pedophile ass motherfuckers and human traffickers and our politicians and all of our celebrities.
That's our government, man.
Like I rather get rid of them niggas with that level and then handle these motherfucking racist ass dudes than let this pedophile ass nigga get in office and let pedophile shit happen.
Surprised.
I don't realize that nigga's gonna let like y'all kids get fucking this mask shit. Y'all don't realize that this shit is more than a coronavirus. This ain't no motherfucking just coronavirus. Yes, let that nigga call it a China virus for a reason. It's some like real COVID is a fucking common cold. This is a variation of a common code, and it's just some extra shit, and it's some shit that's we getting shut down for people that's got 99.96% recovery rate. Like I'm just telling y'all, we being played, and this shit ain't about no fucking virus, and y'all gotta like look past that shit and look at the fact that they hide in the fact that over 1 million people are getting trafficked. Kids are getting trafficked. They're not talking about it. They talking about all this other shit.
They've never talked about it, and it's always.
But it's in the news now, dog. These people are going to jail. Why do you think these people are in jail, dog? Why you think Ellen is sitting at home with like a fucking bracelet on their fucking ankle? Why you think Tom Hanks just ran away to fucking Greece or someplace where he can't get fucking down? That's the dude that said he gonna get the human traffickers. Who else said they gonna do that? Ain't nobody else said they was gonna do it. Ain't nobody else put $500 million into taking care of victims of human trafficking. Ain't nobody else did that shit. I mean, y'all can smile and laugh about that shit, but I know people that have been trafficked, so it's important to me to make sure. I'm verifying that shit. I know that shit real.
It happened during Trump's presidency. That's the only thing that's going on, man.
You don't think he got no? You don't think that's happening because he decided to do it? You don't think Barack Obama was just like fuck that shit? You don't think he had nothing to hide?
Listen, bro, they all have something to hide, man.
So I'm saying, like, right now that shit's happening. I'm down with that shit happening. That's more important to me than this COVID shit. That's more important to me than fucking anything because my kid is a kid that's gonna be an adult, and I want to make sure that these motherfuckers that's fucked up get they fucking due diligence so I can make sure. And Biden ain't gonna let that shit happen. Y'all don't understand. Biden gonna drop all this shit because that's his friends. Them not Trump friends, even though he with that shit, that ain't his friends.
He's with that shit, bro.
If what you say is true, his friends,
then he's with that shit too.
They all fucked up.
If what you say is true, then you got to put him in that same circle. He's right there with them, bro. All those people that you're mentioning,
I'm putting him with them Jewish,
all in the same circle.
Yeah, look, they all got their own little different satanic circles. To me, I look at it like, you know, we got these Luciferian ass motherfuckers, and then we got these Illuminati motherfuckers, and you know, we got all of these other fucking secret society groups that y'all probably think are conspiracies and don't exist, but the motherfuckers exist, and those motherfuckers that run this shit and use kids as they sacrifices and as they fucking tools and shit like that, that's what's out here fucking being the fucking force behind all of this shit, and people being blind and all COVID this and running around all nuts and crazy and shit, while, you know, the people that's in trouble, they hiding right now and they fucking getting in trouble and nobody's paying attention to it and nobody's reporting on it because y'all think COVID is the fucking shit and Trump is racist and that's all people focused on. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
I mean,
so Trump's like the freedom warrior for child trafficking.
I ain't saying he the cure all fix all. I'm telling y'all right now, Like, if y'all look at history right now, in the past 4 years, there have been more human traffickers arrested, period. And they've been big ass human traffickers that have been
because of Trump.
He's the person that decided to do it. Did you see Barack Obama say that shit? Trump said this shit before he got in office and when he got in office, that he was going to do that shit. And as soon as he got in office, that shit started happening. So you can't say that it's somebody else or that it just magically happened when somebody said they was going to do something and it started happening.
I'm sure they would need more than 4 years to build a case, man. Like, if we're talking about the feds. So then how could it have been Trump?
Yeah, he got in. They didn't expect him to lose. They didn't expect her to win. Her to lose. They didn't expect this nigga to get in. None of this shit would be happening. But if y'all pay attention to what's going on right now, there's a lot of people getting arrested slowly and surely. Like, over the past, freaking 15 days, there's probably been thousands of people that have gotten arrested for child trafficking. That's why there's been all of these fucking fires and all of these bombings. I don't know if y'all noticed that every day this month, there's been a fire or a bombing. Every single day. Like, every single day. This is, they're hiding evidence, they're burning up shit. There's been an explosion here, a fire there. Like,
they? Democrats?
I ain't saying it's Democrats. Because it's Republicans are fucked up too. And it's other countries. Okay. It's not just America. Shit, Justin Trudeau's over there doing fucked up shit. Prince Edward was over there a part of this shit. Y'all don't realize that the fucking queen is like a fucked up ass. Like, all this shit's fucked up, bro. Like, we got some fucked up ass.
No,
people are fucked up.
No, bro. Okay, look. Let me try to pose my question a different way. I believe that all those people are fucked up. I'm just wondering why you think Trump isn't fucked up.
I didn't say he wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't say he wasn't. Yeah, I'm saying like they all got their own different things. They all with their own different groups. He just not with their group. He with a different group that want to fuck us over. But they not fucking us over yet. They gonna fuck us over once they get back in office this next round. But Biden will fuck us over even harder.
All right, now man. All right, you gotta be with that.
They're just not fucking us over now.
Man.
Man, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
I'm saying that we can fight one fight at a time, dog.
Like, I appreciate the passion and all of that, man. It's just I don't see how aligning yourself with any specific political party like that is helping what you want to fix.
Non-political. I'm just picking. I pick a president. Y'all want to vote? I've never voted before. I'm 33. I'm a veteran. I've never voted before. I didn't trust none of that shit. This is the first time I'm a vote.
Shout out to Prop One. I'm glad he's like, still a follower of us. But he's a big Trump. I just want to give a shout out to Prop One. He keeps on talking shit. Whatever.
Let me check with that, man.
What'd you say? You say something?
So let me
bro?
check this chat. Yeah, I'm checking the chat.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't think either of them are like, we don't have good options. There are no good options, but right now, I'm 100% sure that Trump ain't fucking us as soon as he ain't fucking us right now. Biden's go fuck y'all. Y'all don't realize that y'all finna get masked up, and y'all gotta look at what's happening in other countries. This ain't about just America. In New Zealand, they on a lockdown where they can walk in your house and take your children if you got coronavirus. Like, they can snatch you out your car. Like, I'm telling y'all that these are things that are happening in other countries, and this is the process that will happen over here. And if y'all let Biden get his ass in office, they're with the communist shit. Like, they agree with the Chinese Communist Party's plan. They're with that shit. It's they feel like that's the way America should be. Like, it's not. We shouldn't be like that. Y'all niggas want to be free. Y'all want to still be able to go outside when y'all want to. Y'all ain't gonna have that with Biden because it's gonna be a lockdown where y'all only gonna be able to go outside for a specific amount of time, just like in these other fucking countries. Y'all think America is fucking like going upwards, and it's not. And it's not gonna go any forward if we get a fucking dumbass Biden, and he ain't gonna make it too much longer because he's a dumb shit. It's gonna end up Kamala fucking Harris, and she ain't fucking ready. Like, she ain't even a fucking politician. I don't even know how the fuck she got there. She got in her fucking office by fucking cheating with a fucking mayor, and that's how she got hired. And then, you know, so I'm just saying, like, our options, y'all got to look at. We got to fuck the one.
You ain't lying. But they're all pieces of shit, man. They're all pieces of shit.
What makes Joe Biden a better piece of shit?
No, he's not. He's not.
Absolutely fucking nothing. And this is all I'm saying, bro. As long as you keep comparing Trump to Biden and acting like those are the only two realities that you can imagine, that's the longer that we're gonna be in this fucking limbo of bullshit, bro.
For sure.
Like, you gotta drop that shit and just like see that reject the whole thing, bro.
Nah, y'all gonna see in a couple months that it's a whole bunch of fucked up ass people, and it's gonna be a lot different. Like, if Biden come in, I promise y'all kids gonna be walking around masked up. Y'all gonna be walking around masked up. He already said it. He got 3 months of mandatory vaccinations. I'm not down with nobody mandatorily vaccinating shit because I don't. Y'all not poisoning me. I don't believe in that shit. You know, but you gonna make it mandatory. That's the only way anything's gonna happen. Now, fuck that shit. I'm not with that under any kind of fucking circumstance. You know, this other dude already told me that it ain't gonna be mandatory. And even if he fucking make it mandatory, I'll figure out some way to fucking escape that bitch, but I already got a chance. At least I know I got a fucking chance.
Why wouldn't Trump help us, man? Why wouldn't Trump like help us from being vaccinated?
He already said that he ain't making it mandatory.
But bro, you know, it's not up to him like that.
All right, so
like, okay, the president also
states
says
can do
you
it.
can't smoke
States can
weed.
do it individually, and it can be done at a federal level. But their likelihood of every single state forcing vaccinations is literally impossible unless it's done at a federal level.
My guy, the president's office, the stance is smoking weed is bad.
Yeah,
be out here, bro. They, like, it's not what it's not like that, bro. He's not the king.
This state is fine. You're right. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Like, each state has their own thing. If the state say it is what it is, then it is what it is. But if the state they got the federal level that could put a whole different notice now. And I don't believe every single state is going to be like, yo, vaccinations are mandatory.
I mean, all right, so you say you got kids, so I know you got that little PDF with the back to school plan for the state of Michigan with all the little cup. You haven't gotten that yet?
My kid homeschool. I got a toddler. He's gonna be homeschooled. I don't believe in him.
Okay. Well, we got this PDF. It's all color coded and shit with like pastel colors. It's really unappealing to look at. This fucking sucks. And yeah, man, that's already a thing, bro. Whatever you're talking about is already there.
With vaccinations? That's why my kid don't go to public school. That's why my kid wouldn't go to a public school. That's why it would be homeschool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand the like importance of not vaccinating your body. I'm like, that's some unholy shit. Like, for real, for real. You ain't supposed to change your body like that. Like, we fucked up. They doing what they want to with us. They've given us fake ass food, you know, giving us contaminated ass water.
Oh, I know.
You know, sticking fucking aluminums and fucking human fetuses. And
no matter who's president, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the whole system's gonna still run the way it is, man. The whole fucking FDA, each year they're adding more fucking percentage of like literal feces being able to like be in our food and all that shit, bro. Like GMO, all that shit over in Europe, they couldn't even serve none of the fucking fast food they do here. Cause their whole it's totally fucking. I'd probably actually eat McDonald's over in fucking Europe. You know what I mean? They actually 100% meat. In America, bro, we can't even get. We gotta pay extra for pot
stuff
with real fucking sugar in it from Mexico. It's like shit's crazy.
I don't know, man. It's like if you look at the extremes, like let's look at what each political party complains about the most and create a stereotype. And then from that, look at how that stereotype feeds into said political system, economic system in this country, and you'll see that those things are necessary on both ends for the economy to succeed. Whether you're a conservative living in a rural area or you're someone living in an urban area that's unemployed with low education, like this country needs you to run. And it's designed to keep you consuming right in your same position. You can't really move anything except like kind of laterally. And that's it. Because if any one of those two groups gets out of balance, then the third political, the actual that 1% that everybody's always talking about, it threatens their fucking way of life. So how do you defeat that? You stop seeing, a Democrat or a Republican as somebody different than you, because they're not. These people are just voters, man. They're not part of a fucking cult, bro. They're just fucking people that are trying to make the fucking world better, and there's a larger system at work fucking siphoning all that shit so that they can do more evil, like, period.
Not every
Serve their own interests.
Bohemian Grove or wherever that's at.
That shit, bro.
Not all of them go.
It's like the WWF, man.
Too, I think. I forget what it's called. Like
what?
Mountain or something. There's a very,
like all these wrestlers and shit, bro. They fucking vacation together. They fucking party together.
Yeah, y'all are some rich. They like hang with other people.
Yeah, our American politicians go overseas and kick it together, bro. They're all in the same gang, bro.
I mean, Trump and Clinton were all fucking buddy before last election. You know what I mean? Like, they were all in fucking cahoots. The whole Clinton Foundation was like fucking based off of Trump shit. Shit that he got away with.
Yeah, man.
Jamie's being patient. He's just sitting there. More of that Death Star. Yeah.
I'm fortunate to have about 4 or 5 flavors at my disposal at the moment, though. But I was really waiting for this to come back around.
Let's say, shout out to Zuzu Farms, man. I'm rolling out the last fucking little bit of some shit I got from them. It's pretty fire.
I just relit this overdose from Rockney Farms.
I'm trying to think of the name.
Tastes pretty good.
Oh, it's called Sherbanger. And it is.
Ash is pretty. Oh, Sherbanger.
Yeah, it's a gas, yes, fucking gelato type. creamy gas. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I mean, it ain't no in my turf farms, but
What you smoking on, Trip?
Right now I'm smoking some cheetah piss.
Cheetah piss?
Which I called cougar piss last week.
I never had it.
And is that from Cookies?
Nah, it's just in a cookies bag.
Mm.
I don't like them.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, man.
I try not to get weed from California.
So, I guess we've been discussing the things that divide us, man, and I respect you, being in here and having a civilized conversation with us. So, big ups to you, man. But let's talk about the things that unite us, man. Like, I think UNC Murder actually have some shit in common. Do you want to talk about, like, maybe I'm mispronouncing this, mycology? that
What?
Yeah, I grow some stuff. Pretty fun. I've been doing it for a few months.
Yeah, man, you should kick some science to him, C Murder. Tell him about what's going on in the state of Michigan as far as that movement. Yeah.
Science. Well, so we're trying to like decriminalize.
You're on the spot, bro.
First off, like, there's nothing really going on in the state of Michigan as a whole, so it's just putting the horse before the carriage before the horse, or whatever the hell that saying is. But we're just trying to decriminalize nature in Ann Arbor, and there's like a decriminalize nature movement. It came out of Oakland, California, and we're trying to decriminalize entheogenic plants, fungi, and right now we started with the city of Ann Arbor, so hopefully in a couple weeks there'll be like a Ann Arbor somebody introducing something into the city council. One of the city council members has to introduce it to decriminalize it. And then other cities are trying to do that too, like Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids and Lansing.
Alright.
They all have little groups that are starting to get that going. So.
That's cool. That's dope. Yeah, it needs to be. Like, that's a useful tool for a lot of ailments, a lot of mental stuff. And I've seen it, like, not just for me, but for a lot of people. I've seen it, like, kind of do like a 360 in terms of like their mental, like, even standing. Like, people have been kind of on wobbly feet, and I've seen them stand up. And myself included, I feel like it's done a great job of getting me through like some of my old little PTSD-ish type stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing how like just like a large dose of psilocybin mushroom can really change people from like having a lot of anxiety or depression, and how it just kind of it's a reset button almost. And it's something that has been with us for millennia and has coexisted alongside us, and we've evolved with it. Same with the cannabis plant. It's one of those sacred kind of medicines that need to be protected and utilized public.
That's cool. Yeah. Anything I can help you with, let me know. Words or, I do websites and graphics too. So you need anything along the lines, tell me.
Cool. Yeah, we do have a website guy already. He did a lot of that stuff down. But I think there's like definitely people who want to do something in Detroit. I'm not sure if I really I just have been like stretching myself on like tons of different like little things, and I just like need other people to, I guess, do more of the activist lifting. these days. So I need to get like a Detroit group going. And I don't live in the city of Detroit proper, so yeah.
All right, yeah. What's your Instagram?
Nominated drip trip.
Yeah, I do my best to help out with you. You know, I run a business and I work a full-time job and I got a kid, but I definitely like jump in there and make I could manage some shit or, at least help out with something. I don't mind helping out with it. It's definitely something I want to like legalize just in general because it should, or decriminalize.
Yeah, so Criminalized Nature, they do have like different groups like already, and there's probably a Detroit one that started. I might like be in it somehow, but Decriminalized Nature has an Instagram, Decriminalized Nature Ann Arbor, and mine's CMACD313. Sometimes I'm tagged in Medical Mondays, so, and you can also find Berg and Roach follow me too, so.
All right.
Murder.
Sure, I'll drop on you. I got you.
See you, murder.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with mycology in Michigan right now, Roach.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm like new to it, bro. I've been only on that stuff for like 3 months, and I only been growing them for like 2-ish months. But it's been cool and fun, So.
Yeah, like I've never really used it myself medicinally, so I can only really go off of other people's testimony and experiences. And I mean, if that's what heals them, then so be it, man. I support it.
Yeah.
I like to microdose mushrooms.
I could see where.
I do too. I've been microdosing more this like quarantine kind of. Just because I haven't had like the supply that I've been able to, so I might as well stretch it out. And I heard that microdosing is like good for like creativity, so yeah.
It is.
Microdosing is more good for like healing purposes and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you're supposed to like have it for a course of them usually.
Like an intention and like, So yeah.
Yeah, well, let's not get on supernatural this week, man.
Let's not.
I'm gonna keep it in. Unless you have an encounter with the supernatural story you'd like to share, Drip Drip.
Oh man, y'all want to hear about my first major trip?
Well, okay.
I mean, it was kind of supernatural.
All right. I mean, if you feel comfortable sharing, then yeah, we're here to listen, man.
It was kind of crazy, we was us colored people was on an alien ship, and we fell from like the sky and landed on the planet, and we just like forgot like everything that happened. So I was like witnessing like what was happening like to us, and we kind of just like was wandering around, and we started establishing life, and then the angels fell down like from the spaceship. And they pretty much and then the Bible played in my like throughout my vision. But they fell from a spaceship, and it wasn't it wasn't God, it was a spaceship. That was my vision. And then pretty much played through the Old Testament and the New Testament, and until like our current place. And then I was like, wait, what? And then like I just had to go outside. And actually, Roach, you had actually said something to me that night, and I was looking up at the sky like on my story, and I was like, yo, that shit not moving. And you was like, yo, it's moving, you gotta pay attention. And I was like, nah, that shit not moving.
No, like, I was trying. He felt like what was it that the sky, the constellations were static and
Yes.
weren't rotating, or I forget exactly what it was, but
That was
you
it.
know,
Huh?
he felt that the constellations were not moving in the sky, that stars were in the same place he had seen them the night before. And if we're spinning at so many million miles an hour, how can that star still be in the same place it was last night? And I was trying to explain to him like the perspective of movement, and when there's like objects in the way, it's like, you know, now that I can like just speak, I would say, you know, like you haven't seen that art where like if you look at it from one point of view, it looks like one thing, but as you move, like all the pieces align and give you like a completely different perspective. Like it'll say peace, and then as you move to the, you know, left or right, it'll turn into like a handgun. You've never seen shit like that? Because that's how the stars move. You know, I use the thing is like that's why you could sail by like certain stars and constellations, because they're moving but at a slower pace, so that you can kind of meter yourself, your movement based with their movement. I mean,
Smart. Like
what's
a lot
that
of
little thing?
like you realize like, oh, like the Big Dipper is like over here, but like 6 months later it's like over there. It's like totally different part of the sky.
Okay, so I want to say we had this conversation like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6.
What?
So what what conclusion have you come to in that time?
Though we not on a globe. This isn't a globe that's spinning around a sun with a little ball that's kind of holographic that doesn't spinning around us, you know, really, really fast. You know, I'm just like, this shit's stupid. And then like I started looking at all this other shit, all of these numbers, and we like 666 million miles from here, and then I'm like, all this shit is some fucking Illuminati fucking mumbo jumbo that y'all using to confuse us. What I believe is what the Bible says. The Bible says that they got a firmament and that this is a plane. You put water in between there. Now we not know the sun and the moon spin around us. This is a fucking uranium. It ain't no fucking globe. Like whatever they call flat Earth. If you look at what the United Nations map is, their logo, that flat Earth map, that's what our Earth is. It ain't. That's why they do all that extra flight patterns and all that shit. We ain't know what that shit's silliness.
How do you explain like the eclipse, like lunar eclipse?
Do y'all ever notice sometimes that the whole sun still be out and you can still see, like it's supposed to be like all in a line, so we're not supposed to be able to see the sun at all. You're supposed to just see just pitch black. But there's been plenty of times during an eclipse where the sun has still been out in a different part of the sky, and you just see like darkness covering the moon. Like I've seen that before. Like, and I know other people that have seen that before. So I'm like, yo, that's like bullshit. It's just y'all putting these stupid blinders over your eyes because they told y'all to, because y'all gonna go blind if y'all look. So y'all do it.
So you look at it with like no, you just look at it.
I've looked at the sign. Like
and
I was looking.
Then you see it in
at
another part of the sky later.
And not, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like I'm serious as fuck. Like,
well, I mean, okay, so you do understand in a lunar eclipse, the Earth comes between the sun and the moon. So they're actually in a different part of the sky. That's like part of the thing. That's why it is a lunar eclipse. Because the
they're
Earth,
supposed to be in line.
This shadow looked like kind of like a butt truck.
that was the flat Earth solar eclipse. Yeah. That's crazy.
Do y'all really think they landed on the moon?
Yeah, man.
I
I wasn't there when they were shooting in the gym, man.
No.
You want to answer that? What does the youth say? Y'all believe in the moon landing?
Yeah. Murder. What are the kids saying?
I don't know. I think the kids are pretty split on it.
Oh yeah.
Like, why they ain't been back? Y'all not able to get back to the moon? Y'all waiting on Elon Musk to get y'all back to the moon?
The Van Allen belt, right? Is that what?
Been here for 60 years.
Is that what everybody's caught up on, the Van Allen belt? Or do you have a different reason why we didn't get there?
Why do I? I don't know. They just, What? I wasn't around like in 1969. I didn't experience it all, and it was like this event that occurred on TV, and just like other things, aside from the moon landing, makes you like not believe your government sometimes. So, yeah.
What about you, Drip Trip? What makes you think?
Man, I don't believe the moon is a physical object that they can land on.
Oh, okay.
Like, God didn't make that a physical object. That's why it's not. You can't land on that. You can't even get out there. That's why I said it ain't even a fucking outer space. These idiots talking about we're going to Pluto and we shooting satellites 60 billion light years. Like all that dumbass shit. And people be like, yeah, okay, yeah, let me go look. And
So you believe that when the rockets get launched into space and they start to curve, that's because they're hitting the dome as opposed to exiting the atmosphere,
you okay?
In a way that's like scientifically more efficient.
They always curve.
If you were to
Eventually, as they go out, they go land into the ocean or some shit like that. They're not going outer space.
No, I'm just saying, if you're on a sphere, a globe that's spinning, and you were a drop of water like imagine a wet tennis ball and you start spinning it, which way are the drops of water going to go? Are they going to go straight out, like a T, or are they going to go in a spiral elliptical sort of path? Because that's the path of least resistance. Therefore, it's the most efficient for us to burn fuel. I mean, if we were going to actually make it to the moon and shit in outer space, either way, just science.
I don't believe that. I don't even know why people even believe that if you like look at the whole like freaking idea of the globe, and if you listen and ask, NASA admits that the blue marble is an artist's rendition. You realize they don't have a real picture of the whole entire Earth. It's an artist's rendition that y'all look at. They acknowledge that and admit that. Like, basically,
I forgot Jamie was here. Jamie.
Yeah, what's your
what do you think about the moon landing, man?
All right, give me the question again, man. I'm sorry.
What do you think about the moon landing? Did we do
moon
it or
landings?
Did it really happen or not?
I believe it happened. Yeah.
You were there. You were around, right? Like, not to be funny, but like
I was very young and not like totally aware of all the details and implications of the fact that it was happening.
Yeah, so it could have been some fake shit, and you not pick up on it.
I have no reason to believe that it is. I tend to trust science and logic.
Agreed.
There's a conspiracy in which
why haven't they been back? They can't. Why they say they're not able to get back yet? They're paying Elon Musk billions of dollars to get them back to the moon 5 years ago, and they haven't been able to do it. Like, why haven't you able to do this in, what has it been, 40, 50 years?
What does the answer to that question have to do with whether or not the moon landing is real?
Boom! Another question for you, Jamie. What's going on tomorrow in Jazz Cabbage Cafe?
We have Marvin of the Party.
Oh, shit.
He is a super veteran. He is a decades-old activist, has been at it for a long time, well before any of us.
He's been on Medical Mondays before.
You know, to some people's chagrin, he's coming on our show tomorrow. So we'll be able to talk about some of the history and stuff like that with him. And he's a teacher, a professor at Macomb Community College for a while, and he helped to create many activists through his classes and stuff over the years. So there's some good stuff to talk about his participation in all this. And we have Kyle Miller. Is that right, Colin?
Yep, Kyle Miller.
He operates a store in Lowell, Michigan, Provision Center. And he also helped out with the Am I Legalized campaign.
Oh.
And then Laith El-Sadi, the musician from Ann Arbor Sun. He's going to come on and he's going to be playing at the Michigan Cannabis Industries Association event this week up at Shinny Creek.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, man. So I guess it's about that time.
Yeah. Give a shout out to our sponsors.
Hell yeah. You know I do, man. Big shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to Honeybee Extractions, Ghostbuster Farms, Western Tobacco, Michigan Turp Farms, Michigan Ganja Queen, Label My Motherfucking Bud, and of course, huge, tremendous, big shout out, Native Made 313. You're the best.
All right, man. Big shout out to Drip Trip for following through, smoking with us, chopping it up. Thanks again, Jamie and C Murder for joining us. And of course, El Arocho. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Before we get out there, man, Drip Trip, we got to go live and continue this discussion, man. Like at a later point. Like,
what?
Right? I just got to hear the rest. I got to hear the rest of your point of view, man. I know we didn't get to finish it.
All right, we try for that, bro.
Right after here?
Nah, not right now. I got it.
Not right now.
All right, John. Thanks for tuning in Medical Mondays. Of course, tune in next Monday. Peace out, y'all.